Welcome back to our CEO.CA viewers. My name is Amrit Gill, and we are in PDAC in Toronto, and I'm joined by John Carlesso, founder, CEO, and director of FenixOro. Welcome.
Thank you.
How has the convention been for you so far?
Yeah, it's busy, lots of meetings. You get an opportunity to see a lot of people face to face in person who, from all different parts of the world who aren't, necessarily here in Toronto all the time. So it's a great chance to, network, meet people, tell your story. It's been good.
Yeah, well, let's talk about your story and your experience and how FenixOro came to be.
Mm-hmm. It's We've been operating in Colombia, or been looking for opportunities in Colombia for some time. We think it's on balance a really interesting opportunity in terms of the prospectivity of the country, the cost basis, and the chance to make really important, significant multi-million ounce gold discoveries. The thesis is based on Continental Gold's Buritica deposit. That was sold to Zijin Mining for $1.4 billion in January of 2020. We are a direct geological lookalike to that deposit. There are many similarities in terms of the age, the formation, the scale and geometry of the structures. We're the closest deposit to it. The guy who discovered Buritica is a guy named Stu Moeller. He was a very experienced geologist, worked for a number of majors in his career. He's our VP exploration, so he knows this style of mineralization, this deposit type, I think, better than anybody in the world. And we have been proving out for the last 2 years that this is, in fact, I think a Buritica lookalike that we have at Abriaki. We've outlined the path to the first 5 million ounces of what we call Buritica style, which is a combination of high-grade gold mineralization surrounded by halos of lower-grade mineralization. Gives you, combined with these very tall vertical structures, gives you very efficient mining costs. Buritica is the 4th lowest cash cost producer in the world. We see all the same elements and kind of hallmarks of that style. So we think we have a shot here to prove up an actual lookalike, end up at about, to be a 10 million ounce scale deposit. We're about to drill what we think is the most exciting part of the property, the southern block, which matches the Buritica elevation. We've made a recent discovery there that's quite exciting, very high grade gold, silver, and copper numbers. And so that's what we're about to embark on. It should be a really, really exciting year for us for 2023.
Yeah, lots of updates to keep track of. So tell us a little bit more about your properties and exploration work.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Abriaki and what why we started, what we've been finding. We've been finding that Buritica style, high grades, wide zones, everything that you want to see in building a mine. We're evolving and acquiring producing assets. In December, we acquired something called the Escondida mine, which is a little further north from Abriaki, still very accessible. It's a high-grade gold mine that is already permitted and in production. We see an opportunity. It's kind of like an unpolished gem. We can go in, add some expertise, some engineering, some capital, and some upgrade in terms of mining methods and equipment, and really get much more out of that project to produce some cash flow. We see it ultimately as having potential for maybe to be a 1 million ounce deposit, which would really change the scale of what that is producing now and what it would mean for our future. So we see that being an important part of our evolution, to be self-supporting, cash flow generating, while at the same time having this world-class exploration project in Abriaki. So we're on the lookout for some other acquisitions as well.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very active and busy year for us.
Yeah, so lots on the go, but when can investors expect news?
We had some news out today on the formation. It's kind of highly technical. To put it in context, it's sort of microscopic analysis about the formation of the deposit. Sounds kind of boring, is super important in terms of, gold doesn't just occur naturally. There are events, and deposits can be formed in many different ways. Understanding how a deposit is formed can tell you a lot about how you should explore it and where you're likely to find the source mineralization. And the good news is that this style of formation, of mineralization, confirms for us, more supporting information for the thesis that this has potential to be, a multi-million ounce, in the 10 million ounce category deposit like Buritica, like Marmato, which is Aris Mining's, I think 9 million ounce deposit in the region. So just another supporting piece of evidence that we're on the right path, and we expect some additional drilling results when we start the next campaign quite soon from this area.
Yeah, so what separates you from the competition?
I think all of these things combined, it's to have two things, an exploration project with the potential to be really a world-class deposit in the 5 to 10 million ounce range, is a rare and unique feature for deposit. These are not common by any means, and they're hard to come by. So we're very fortunate to have an asset of this scale to continue exploring. We still haven't found the extent of it. We haven't found the depth of it. It's a really special asset. So it's a challenging market for exploration companies right now, but that's okay. That's why we are evolving to bring in production. And I think the combination of having a growing production and cash flow profile with a world-class exploration asset really will allow us to do well in any market environment. I look at a company like K92 Mining, which pursued a similar path very successfully. They've got a world-class exploration project that is continuing to grow and a growing cash flow profile. Market loves it because it gives you that stability from the production along with the exploration upside. And it's that combination that I think we really have and should set us apart from other pure exploration plays.
So what measures can companies take to reduce their burn rates?
I mean, I think if you have the ability to add a producing asset in a non-dilutive way to your share structure, that's obviously a real positive attribute. We think we found that in the Escondida mine that we have. As I said, we think we struck a very good deal for it. It's a high-grade producing mine. We are investing in both the mining method and the recovery method. And it should generate much more cash flow than actually the price that we paid. So having the ability to reduce your reliance on, like many exploration companies, having the only option to raise capital is to continually go to the market. It's tough on the shareholder structure, on your cap table. So having that producing asset is really valuable. We're very fortunate, and that's why we're pursuing that strategy.
Yeah. What advice can you share with younger generations of investors or green flags that they should be looking out for?
That's interesting. I know there's a lot of discussion about amongst the younger generation about whether the value of investing in the gold sector or the precious metal sector versus things like crypto or other sort of forms of digital assets. I would say be a student of history, understand market cycles, look at the history of the history of manias and market bubbles are really fascinating. You can go all the way back to the 1500s and look at the tulip mania, for example. There's sort of it's a bit of a cliche, but there's a famous Mark Twain saying that says, history doesn't actually repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And I think that's very true for financial markets and business cycles. You see the same, or not the same, similar phenomena occurring. So having an understanding of how asset values can be inflated, peak, decline, how business cycles and market cycles move, is a really solid foundation for understanding how to participate in markets, and understanding that there is a cycle. Part of that cycle is understanding the true value, and I would say, I think there's a place for all of these assets in a portfolio. some gold, some crypto or digital assets. It's not necessarily a mutually exclusive debate, but yeah, be open-minded, understand history and the business cycle. I think is a really great place to start.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the investor community at CEO.CA?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've it is certainly a challenging market for the precious metal space over the last couple of years. It's had volatility for sure. We feel we've had tremendous fundamental success in making a significant discovery. Buritica, our flagship project, is going to be a mine. It's going to be a significant mine. We have not yet discovered there's a lot of upside remaining there to be discovered. We're adding production. I think we have all the elements of building a really interesting, exciting, successful mining and exploration company. Market's going to, as I said, as we just discussed, markets move through cycles. I think we're going to be rewarded for that. We're very, very confident in what we have and what we're about to achieve. So, stay tuned. Do your research and due diligence. I think you'll find us to be pretty unique with some really, really interesting assets.
Thank you so much for your time today. We hope you enjoy the rest of the convention.
Thanks very much.